Break it up, break it up, break it up, break down.
Break it up!
I think Robbie just got real hype about the breaks.
Breaks in the mall, breaks on the train.
So we had another busy week in the gaming industry.
The hypest channel for Vice City.
Yeah.
Wild Style. That was the shit.
Yeah.
Don't have too much.
And also no motion.
I like listening to the R&B stations.
Yeah, the R&B stations.
Just riding around doing some thug shit, just shooting people.
To be honest, all of the stations were pretty great.
I mean, that soundtrack though.
Yeah,
My dad had the hip hop and the both the hip hop and the R&B channel. He actually had the CDs for those.
Nice.
I was like, yes.
Yeah, I have the GTA 5, like all the original songs that they put in for GTA 5. I have that album.
I need the game radio soundtrack from GTA 3. That shit is like that shit was amazing.
I feel like that's something that'd be probably easy to come across.
Plus the dub channel.
Was GTA 3 really like? Because I played Vice City a lot, and then I tried to go back to GTA 3, and it just wasn't hitting as hard.
No.
Like, you would have you had to do it in order.
Gameplay wise, you had to do it in order. Like if you came with Vice City or San Andreas, it's like nah, you can't.
You can't. I still enjoy going back and play GTA 3, but like.
But it's only for that nostalgia.
There was no
it's the nostalgia factor.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll go through and play the whole thing.
No, those probably no. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't even want to look at that shit again.
It's rough. It's rough. To be honest, it's rough. It's rough.
Those maps were big,
but it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just gets you in a certain.
That's true. I go back to play Vice City all the time.
Yeah.
All right, Vice City.
And San Andreas.
It's got
those two are different though.
Yeah.
That's when it hit its stride. That's when we knew.
That's when we
Yeah, San Andreas. Yeah,
that's
when we knew.
All right, so it's been a crazy week in the games industry. Even though GDC is now over, we are still getting announcements pretty much constantly. Every single day there's been a new announcement of either a game's getting a major expansion, a game's getting revealed.
And then Mortal Kombat just won't stop.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat is out.
That last trailer,
their
though.
marketing team, take my money.
That last trailer, though.
Fucking earned it.
It's pretty nice.
They're out here working to sell their copies, and it's working.
To be honest.
To people like us.
Yeah. I mean,
if anybody
that's
was on
the best story.
Who isn't more convinced by watching all of that content?
Vince Staples
dropped that new heat
on a trailer. Like, come on.
Yeah,
to be honest, if
21 Savage was the debut trailer.
If you want to sell anything, just put Vince Staples on the sound. Just put Vince Staples on the sound.
Yeah.
If
Vince
you want to sell
Staples
some
sold me initially on Into the Spider-Verse. Still love that movie.
He introduced Black Panther. Don't forget
his marketing.
Don't forget.
I thought Run the Jewels did. It was the Legend Habs on the original trailer.
I remember it was Vince Staples on the one. The first one, the very first one that I saw, it was Vince Staples. It was a huge thing.
On the radar. Isn't that that's off the Black Panther soundtrack too?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I thought it was Legend Has It by Run the Jewels. That was the first trailer I
remember
saw.
It was from the first trailer I saw of Black Panther was Vince Staples. The first the trailer, it was Vince Staples.
Right. And
it was right after I think it was. I wouldn't say right after, but it's like, well, how much time passed after Big Fish Theory?
Between Big Fish and Black Panther, it was like a good year. But he put out that one song that I think we didn't hear again until the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack came out. But that was the I'm Coming Home Now, and where he jumped off the building. That was the original theatrical trailer for Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Before
the movie was even done.
Yeah. So if you need to introduce anything that the world will adore, the smash hits, the bangers, the game changers, Vince Staples on the soundtrack.
The thing I'm concerned about with this MK trailer and the music they've used in the MK11 trailers so far is they did this with MK9. They released literally an entire EP of Skrillex does Reptiles theme, and they released an entire
that was
culturally relevant music that was associated with the game. Just none of it was in the actual game. And I just really hope that
they actually put it in the game.
Right. That the 21 Savage song and the Vince Staples song make it into the game itself. Because people are buying copies off of the quality of these trailers.
I mean, heck, we
It's
got
not
to
too late
see
to
young
edit.
Jax versus 90s Jax versus regular Jax, current Jax, current OG Liu Kang. And
You're looking at Johnny Cage, and it's just like fucking your brain up.
Yeah.
Black Shade, Johnny Cage, Diamond Scoop Ray.
Johnny Cage versus Johnny Cage? I mean, I'm ready for that game.
Yeah.
He literally punches you in the nuts. Like that's been his thing.
Heck, Noob is back. Noob
That-
Saibot is back.
Noob
That's
Saibot?
Noob Saibot is back,
really
and I'm just saying right now.
Mm.
I'm just saying right now. This might be the tightest I've ever seen Noob. It's a little disgusting.
Dog,
It's a
he
little
pulls out that
disgusting.
sickle
Ooh.
on some Egyptian shit or on some We Was Kings, brother.
No, damn.
Man, shit.
Oh, I'm just saying with the portals. With the portals.
See his third eye's open.
So Madrid, was that the thing that sold you, or did the State of Play trailer sell you? Because you seem to.
Noob Saibot sold me, and then that State of Play trailer was like, I'm going to get this.
Okay.
ASAP.
Yeah, I'm not convinced on Mortal Kombat 11 yet because all of those.
But we've come full circle. Shang Tsung is the 90s actor of Shang Tsung.
Yeah, but I could legitimately wait a year and get all the DLC, all the balance updates for cheaper than you guys are going to be buying the game for now.
I was feeling that until I saw
this
how
is
they
true.
remade Jackie, who I played a lot of in MKX, and I was like, ooh, they made her fun.
Yeah, I waited on MK9. I waited on MKX. I waited on Injustice. I waited on Injustice 2.
See, I want to get good, and I can't get good if I wait for the DLC.
I don't care about getting good in Mortal Kombat because, in my opinion,
I want to be able to hold my own.
the modern ones don't have the staying power. Like, none of us are playing Injustice 2 right now.
Well,
I mean,
none of
us-
us.
didn't even
First
get
things first is
Injustice 2.
as much as I've enjoyed the first Injustice, Injustice never hit like Mortal Kombat hit.
That's true.
Like,
But
MKX had the staying power for a good while. I was playing that game for
I can't even lie. MKX did last. It lasted a minute.
MKX lasted. Injustice don't.
Okay.
Like, that's the
I-
real
yeah, I
problem.
feel-
is
I
that
feel like
in between Mortal
yeah,
Kombat games, we
this-
get these Injustice games that honestly I don't care about.
They're getting to the point where when they first did the next level Mortal Kombat, I can't remember which one they did that with.
MK9.
MK9.
Yeah.
So when they first did that, I think MK11 is like the next level. Okay, now this is more of what you really wanted of that.
Well, now they're looping it back. So with the main antagonist having,
Well, it's all to deal with Raiden, how Raiden fucked up the timeline.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, less storyline, more how gory it is, and the more bloodshed there is.
10 had
No,
some shit.
MKX had the
I mean,
brutality.
I mean,
but
it-
also
it was
MKX
gory
brought
shit.
brutalities back too.
Yeah.
But MK11 is more. I
It's
feel like
just
they're way more. They're funnier. They're funnier with it. They're more creative. They're way more creative than what I've seen of other
Yeah,
fatalities.
Jackie's
I'll-
fatality.
Like it's
Noob's
Bro,
fatality.
no, that sound of the person sliding against the glass.
Yeah, they really focused on like one of the great things about Mortal Kombat. If what Mortal Kombat always was a fighting game that was just gory as shit.
So
And so they really I like the way they would really focus on the gore and just like the humor of it. To
Yeah,
be
right,
honest.
yeah.
The general humor of how these people are getting slaughtered.
what it is like they're letting Ed Boon like go to the most
Like,
fucked
go
up
loose.
places in his mind.
Yeah,
Because
I love it.
they had the team working
I mean, it's
on
basically
Injustice.
just Happy Tree Friends, the fighting game. Those what those fatalities
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
That's what they are.
Yeah, that's I'm pretty like what is the word? Like, what is the most dramatic way to just die through Mortal Kombat?
Right. They
Like
they just had all
it's
this
like
pent
I'm
up-
gonna rip your fucking spine out. And
I'm gonna
then-
punch you in the nuts so hard your spine pops out.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna take the spine, grab it, and then make sushi with it or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
Use it as a knife.
I'm gonna strap a bomb to your back, blow the bomb up, have you the force of the bomb jettison you forward into my glowing fist, and then
I will say, Johnny
destroy you.
Cage's one for this game, 10 out of 10.
10 out of
Let
10?
me reshoot me doing this fatality 3 times.
I need a play-by-play.
Mm.
That shit, yeah. I can't. Whoever gets that, I'm gonna play because I'm gonna wait a year for it.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm waiting
It's a day
a year.
one for me because those are my favorite. Those are in my top 3 favorite fighting games. Like those
Really?
are my preferred ones.
Mortal Kombat?
Yeah,
I always hated the mechanics for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed them.
It's like Mortal Kombat and
I've always
Mortal
been
Kombat and Street
lukewarm
Fighter
on
that just
Yeah, Street Fighter.
Like I used, I played, like I really remember OG Mortal Kombat, and I was like, man, this shit is stiff as shit.
You're a Tekken guy, right?
See, my top ones were always like Marvel vs. Capcom.
I was Tekken Soul Calibur.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Two, obviously.
But I still played those though.
Or 3.
I wasn't heavy on it.
3 hit.
Ultimate 3. Ultimate 3 hits the hardest.
It's got good cast.
Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
Fuck with me, Guilty
Gear. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's good.
Y'all are ignoring Skullgirls.
I mean, Skullgirls
kept me in.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Guilty Gear.
I feel that. I feel that heavily. Just Skullgirls is one of those games that kept me in fighters.
No, Skullgirls is definitely top tier.
That's good.
SNK Reach.
It's $1 right now on
SNK.
Yeah.
King of Fighters.
See, yeah, exactly.
King of Fighters.
Yeah.
I threw them hands. King of Fighters, Art of Fighting.
You know.
And then
I feel like running it off.
I mean, the best fighting game of all time.
Samurai
is
Showdown.
At me.
I'll at you right
I'll
now.
at you right now. How can you say that when we've already said that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is the greatest fighting game ever made?
I have 2 copies of Pokken.
Why?
I can at you because Wii U Switch.
Why would you buy it twice?
Because I wanted to actually play it. Remember, I bought it, and that's when I realized I couldn't play shit on my Wii U.
Yeah.
And then, so now it came around to Switch, where I'm not dealing with any of the Wii U bullshit, and so I played it. I actually played like a good amount. I got close to the end of that game on Switch.
Why?
You know.
I mean, I understand curiosity, but come on, it'll only take you so far.
I mean, it's a game.
It did kill the cat.
But satisfaction brought it back.
Damn. Stay woke.
I didn't get any satisfaction from playing Pokken. But it's just, I felt like I should have an opinion on it as such a big Pokemon fan and as somebody who...
Yeah, they messed up with the roster.
They did.
I'm still bitter.
They did.
They really could have done
so much more.
So much more with that game.
Swampert, right?
Well, yeah, Jalen's still mad about Swampert.
Well, that and also like there's like a multitude of really great Pokemon that are designed to punch you in the face that aren't in that game.
And there's a
like
lot of Pokemon that aren't made to punch and that aren't in the game.
Kangaskhan's not in that game.
Why isn't Kangaskhan in that game?
Why isn't a lantern in that game?
Dude, I don't know. You guys are asking me like I made the decisions on the roster. I'm not happy with
question, brother.
I'm not happy with the
Who
roster.
said it was the better game? I'm asking you, Chris.
Right, yeah, Chris was the one saying it was top tier.
Yeah.
Not me. I'm just saying I played it. I had a lot of problems with it. I had a lot of issues.
I did like 5 matches and knew I wasn't worthy of playing this game, and I never played it again.
I feel that. I respect that opinion. I feel the same way, honestly. That's why.
You know?
That's why you didn't.
Yeah, that's why it makes my stomach upset when I look at it. Because it's too good for me.
But that Mortal Kombat trailer, it ended the PlayStation first ever Days of Play. State of Play. Their Days of Play was their holiday sale. But the State of Play, PlayStation had their first State of Play presentation. And it had a lot of really cool things. A lot of it was VR focused, and they revealed that they actually sold 4.2 million PlayStation VRs. So there are 4.2 mil out there, and previously they had already announced that it sold more than Oculus and Vive put together, but now we have a concrete number that is only going to be growing. They opened the show with Iron Man VR, which I'm very unsure about.
Really?
It did look kind of iffy.
Showing things in VR is always iffy. It's always like getting the headset on and seeing it that changes your mind on experience to experience.
So they really didn't market it right for you.
Well, it's hard to market.
VR. Anything VR is hard to market.
So
how did you feel about VR before they put you in?
You had seen
VR.
I was generally aware of VR since the South Park Oculus. So just generally aware, it's like okay, it's it's a thing,
right?
And then
until you fully
immerse myself, I thought it was just like okay, this is cool. And then I stepped into I think the first thing was like the Star Wars Star Wars game.
Right. So I'm expecting
And
this to be about that
And
quality.
it was just like, yo, this. So I knew it was like there, but I didn't know it was like, okay.
Okay,
But I also
So-
feel like
The
with
next, okay, we've reached the next level. Like,
Yeah,
this is you know.
I feel like the thing
something
with
that you
VR
just get in
though
the
is
store.
that once we start, the more peripherals that you're able to use
Yeah,
with
more
your VR,
Yeah, more peripherals.
the better it gets.
Yeah, I ain't looking,
Like,
but I see you though.
like I'm just saying right now, Elite Dangerous with the flight stick and the full setup.
Well, speaking
That's
of
one step away from separating your brain from your body.
one thing about Elite Dangerous, it doesn't have VR support yet on PlayStation.
Is
but
it
No Man's
on
yeah,
PlayStation?
it's on PlayStation 4.
I mean, here's my thing about Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous is not the type of game I would play with a controller at all. Like, that is the highest of a space sim.
Yeah.
Like, you need the flight controls, you need a keyboard, because you got to go through the entire launch sequence to actual launch. Like, you have to check every single thing. Is my landing gear up? Am I correctly positioned in the anti-grav chamber? Like, you got to go through an entire checklist before you can go and fly.
The perfect timing
Damn,
for
that's pretty
Leisure Suit Larry
Larry.
to come back.
In VR?
There's
VR, come
there's
on.
a Leisure Suit Larry that released this year. Just out there. Wet Dreams Don't Dry.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible. That sounds terrible.
Just because you
That's
brought it
so
up.
awful.
It's a sticky
That's
situation.
so awful. What? I can't believe you just said that.
Hey,
feel
you
uncomfortable.
brought up the
Wet
Leisure
dreams
Suit
don't-
Larry, and I
Oh
just
my
had to
God,
let
this
you
is
know.
the worst
yes.
shit
It's
I've ever
still
had.
happening.
That is the definition
I
of
can't
horny
even
young
lie.
man
I'm
right
so
there.
uncomfortable right now. Like,
I bet it's moist.
I'm just thinking about just the pair of underwear that
Real
it just doesn't dry, but it's not water though.
I really got to transition out of this, so we're going to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's VR is coming out.
Okay, so
I was really
I've been in the Five Nights at Freddy's lore fandom. I've been through this hellscape. It's a hellscape.
Yeah,
It's only getting worse.
Why?
And this
Why
is
is it still alive?
because
Because
there's an Angry Birds game coming out this week.
I know.
here's
There's
why.
a game. There's an Angry Birds game coming out every week.
Because the only thing scarier than jump scares is VR jump scares.
Oh yeah, fuck this.
Oh no. On my list of things that I don't want, that was definitely number 3.
Yeah, these kids. It mean
Fuck these kids.
pretty much. But these kids, they are what
Well,
is
that's what
creating
that
Five
game
Nights
is.
at
No, that's what
Freddy's.
that game is.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't get
also,
why kids love this game.
It's
so
not
much.
just because it
Kids
was a
love this
game.
game?
It was one of the greatest ARG
They got,
lore
like-
things in existence. That was the thing about it. Is that every time he releases a game, there's an ARG mystery on how this fits into the lore. Like for example,
Okay.
when you see it, he releases a promotional image, you can't look at it. First thing you got to do is up the brightness. Then you got to look into the source code. Then you got to go to his site. Then you got to look into the site source code. It's literally what the somber ARG should have been. And he's done it for every single game. That's where the appeal comes.
Okay, that's cool.
And then also there's a storyline and all this
But
jazz.
also they're making
But
like,
also kids
stuffed
like
animals of these characters.
Look,
Kids
capitalism don't stop.
That's true.
If you can sell something to
That
kids,
motherfucker.
kids gravitated to this game, and so this is Five Nights at Freddy was what they were on between Minecraft and Fortnite.
Minecraft.
Come on, think about it. The kids were on that like we were on Goosebumps. Dun, 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 dun.
But Goosebumps was a good read.
I mean, heck, the lore in Five Nights at Freddy's is actually good. Like, that's the messed up thing. It's actually like a good plot, and it was hidden very well.
Ah.
Like,
Like
the actual
like-
experience of it all was a
It
good
was
time.
hitting very well.
like Dark Souls hidden well.
Yeah, except it wasn't just in game. It was in the trailers. It was in the books. Like every
There's books.
yeah. Oh no,
Books.
there's 4 books.
Yeah, I can't
I'm
even
sure
lie.
there are books.
I'm so taken aback by that phrase, hitting well. I have to take that. I've never heard that shit before in my life.
What?
Hitting
Hitting
well?
well?
The shit is hitting well.
Hidden.
It's not just hitting, but it's hitting well.
Exactly. Solid fuck. Everything about it.
Josh just said that so many times so he could have fun editing it. Like, he's like, I gotta have this soundbite. Let me just make sure, throw it in the middle of the podcast.
Just
that was
throw in like some clapping sounds.
Hitting well.
But yeah, that's why Five Nights at Freddy's was popular. It was it wasn't just a game, but it was an entire experience outside.
Fair enough.
All right.
Nice.
So they also showed everybody's
more you
golf VR, which, if you like arcadey golf games, then that's cool. I have Everybody's Golf on PlayStation. I want to get into the full game before I get into the VR.
Is it like Hot Shots?
What about
Yeah,
Robot
it is
Golf?
Hot Shots.
I prefer.
What?
It is Hot Shots?
I prefer Nobody's Golf.
It's Hot Shots?
Hot Shots in Japan was called Everybody's Golf.
What?
So
I
it's
don't know why, but the Hot Shots
Hot
demo
Shot.
was
Yo, I had that. Yeah, I had that disc.
yeah.
The
So
Hot Shots demo
Everybody's
was so
Golf.
fucking tight.
So you know how with Resident Evil 7, it's Biohazard every year in Japan, and it's Resident Evil, or like every entry, it's Biohazard whatever in Japan, and here it's Resident Evil.
Good job,
Everybody's
Biohazard, the band. No, that's why it's not called Biohazard over here.
Right, and I'm sure Hot Shots
Stupid
Golf
copyright.
became an issue over here.
Yeah, bro.
Or like the reason Everybody's Golf, when it was localized, was called Hot Shots, was because there was probably some golf club or something named Everybody's Golf.
That didn't survive.
But yeah, Josh, if you want to go on Everybody's Golf, I have the full game, and it is Hot Shots.
Because I
Golf.
really like. Because I had the demo, and then my dad's friends' kids. They
Those
had
are
Hot
the
Shots.
worst.
They were so fucking
Dad's
lame.
friends' kids.
Yeah, it's like,
Those
yo,
are.
like
Yeah, so they
Oh,
weren't
man.
your friends.
I mean, it's like
You had to deal with them.
like your birthday parties are cool because you have a pool, but that's all.
Yeah, we
You
all
just
have
agree.
those
you,
friends.
you had the games.
But can you fight though?
No. And then they would just cry. It's like, bro, why are you crying right now, dog?
All right.
I ain't got time for that.
So they also gave a release date for my most anticipated upcoming VR game, Justin Roiland of Squanch Games and
Oh,
Rick and Morty
yeah.
fame. Their third game, which they said is their first full-length VR title, because Accounting Plus was short, Rick and Morty Virtual Reality was short, but Trover Saves the Universe is going to be their first full-length VR thing. And since they announced this back at E3, I said,
Yeah.
"Yep,
Oh man,
I'm in." Like,
Yeah, that game looks so fun.
This is gonna be crazy.
so that's really good. They showed big trailers for Mortal Kombat 11, which we already talked about, and Crash Team Racing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this fucking game.
Yo, I'm ready to.
I'm ready to fucking
I'm just
bust
a-
somebody's ass right now, dog. I can't
gotta
wait.
win
Y'all
this
just-
Why
speed
does it
run tomorrow.
why does it taking so long? Like I have to wait till June.
Because they're.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah,
they're
yeah. Wait
building
have to wait till
this.
June. Like
Yeah.
damn.
Let me mute this
I don't.
and just.
Like dog, I'm ready for this shit.
Dog, I've been ready.
I'm
They
so
really
ready
like
for this shit.
I
June.
don't even gotta
Because-
get ready.
Oof.
Because
I-
summer
Not online. I'm about to get tired.
right after E3 or right before E3 or that week is usually a dead zone.
I mean,
I can like I've
I'm
never.
appreciative because
That's-
June's my birthday, so like,
That's
Crash
awesome.
Game
It's
every birthday,
it was
I'm
great
down.
because I never
Crash party at your house?
had friends that I could
Yeah.
play the battle mode with, the battle arena.
Right.
I never. And
and
it'll be
that battle
at the
I played
most
that
it'll be
shit
one.
once.
At the most it'll be like one other person that could play, and that that's just whack. It's a party game, so
It-
I can finally play the battle arena.
I'm
Now?
ready for Crash Team Racing to finally dethrone Mario Kart.
Yes.
it's
Am-
going to.
Yeah,
going to.
I mean
You heard it here
original. I
first.
mean the original is better than
I'm
pretty
just gonna
much.
say this right now. Y'all need to put some respect on Diddy Kong Racing. I'm gonna say
Man,
that right
fuck
now.
Diddy Kong Racing.
Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
Exalt
Diddy
y'all
Kong
you
Racing
Diddy
was
Kong
pretty
Racing
fire.
can eat a
But you gotta
banana.
put some respect on Diddy
DTR
Kong.
will always be king.
Crash Team
Listen.
Racing Battle Royale. You heard it here first.
We can get it fucking
That's good.
going. I'll see anybody. I'll see anybody.
I hope
Fuck
their
it.
terrible
Boy, if I
Fuck
saw,
it.
if I saw Diddy Kong on the streets, boy, ooh, I'd beat that nigga ass.
That homie missile's coming for him.
Listen,
Ooh,
come on.
ooh.
Come
I'm about
on.
to put
We got,
on-
you know
I'm
we
about
got
to
the
put on
blue.
the face
You know we got
mask.
the blue bubbles out here. Don't want to see me. Don't you don't want to catch them
That
like
little lightning thing.
You
that
want-
just
you don't
went
want- you
across
don't
the
want to
whole
catch
field.
Man, it'll come through with the boat with
the
damn
bomb.
bombs.
That damn
Yeah.
mob bomb. I slanging them shits,
Ooh,
bro.
like
God
a bowling
damn.
ball.
They don't
Y'all
want-
brought
they
the
don't want
Atlanta out of Josh.
I'm about to drop a goddamn 15 keys, lemon pepper with the sprinkle.
See, y'all ain't even know about the hot
You know what
lemon
I'm saying?
pepper till
You know
Anton
what I'm
came
saying?
in the
Like,
game
ain't seen
and
me.
really brought y'all that
You ain't
Atlanta
seen-
sauce that y'all ain't
Y'all
know.
ain't see me when I was slaying. I'ma fuck with y'all though.
Man, shit, man, I ain't even trying to hit me right now, bro. You ain't even notice me.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. It's gonna be a hot summer.
It's gonna be a hot summer.
we're not
It's
gonna
gonna be
be
a cruel
friends
summer.
for a minute.
To be honest, like I'm gonna talk so much.
What you
like,
talking
listen,
about?
I'm
Our
gonna be
friendship
talking.
is built on one fundamental fact. We here to throw hands.
To be honest,
Yeah.
with,
Get me in the
within
arena. I got hands.
within those 2 minutes and 5 seconds, we're not friends. To be honest,
Yeah, yeah,
within
yeah.
there is all
Until the race
all-
is over.
Yeah.
The race is never over.
There's two things that get me out of my element to be a complete asshole. It's Modern Warfare 2 and Crash Team Racing.
Yeah. OG
that.
Modern Warfare's really brought the toxic out of people.
Yeah, it's like because I used to play with people who talked a ridiculous amount of shit. Like you know Jamel, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever played anything with Jamel?
No.
That nigga. That's that.
I can see it now, though.
Bruh.
I've seen him operate in certain situations. I bet that gets toxic.
Bruh. So yeah, it gets pretty bad.
Yeah.
It gets pretty bad. Imagine him in high school. It gets pretty bad.
Halo 3 can't.
Ooh.
Yeah, Halo 3 brought a lot of it.
Halo 3 made
It's
me
really
real
just
toxic.
The true catalyst is the Xbox 360.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that brought the
It's a
toxicity out
toxic
of you.
device. I have it plugged up right now for no reason. Just
Well, you got to detox by putting it all in your Xbox.
Just touch it at night. Just here, take all my toxicity. That makes
The
sense.
rest of the world don't need that. Because I heard you playing some Modern Warfare.
I didn't say anything out of pocket.
In case this doesn't play for the audio podcast,
Hold up. You
I'm
were
over
way
here.
out of pocket, homeboy.
I'm over here dealing with like.
Okay,
this
I might have brought
story.
up gun fucking, but that's
Nothing out of pocket at all.
not out of
He admitted it. Get him, boys.
That's not out of pocket.
Madrid running around here gun
right,
fucking.
The great American sex toy.
This man wild.
Yeah, like I was
good.
the only one saying it though.
That man is
Y'all
so
didn't
good.
say, y'all didn't say, hey Madrid, you're wilding right now.
You're 360.
No, it was like we were
What?
playing Call of Duty.
Nobody
That's
pulled
the-
out a red card and was like, all right, Madrid, you got it.
No, we were
'Cause
playing
you
Modern
didn't hit
Warfare 1.
red
That
card.
is a red card.
Right, like
Right.
we were in red card territory. Like for you to get a red card in red card territory,
Like, we were already in the penalty box, man. Come on.
Right.
Free kicks.
But the one last thing that they showed outside of all of the VR and the Mortal Kombat and the No Man's Sky expansion was Days Gone.
Oh, that
Because
still
we are
exists?
less than a month away, and I'm actually hyped for this game. This is going to be my next AAA game.
Mm-hmm.
It's Days Gone.
I can't wait for Days Gone.
What, can you explain Days Gone for me?
Days Gone is a post-zombie. You're playing a zombie apocalypse game, but they say it's like AAA open world video game.
Oh,
the video
AAA
game.
open world zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. But they're like it checks all the boxes the same way that Spider-Man went down all the this is a video game as
Spider-Man
video
went
game.
down.
Days Gone is going through and just every time I see it, it looks like the story looks good. Like the world, like it's the zombie apocalypse in like fucking Oregon.
Like, you just gotta find
Ew.
beans. That's it.
You gotta fight. You gotta
The
fight.
greatest weapon of all time.
You gotta find beans and sauerkraut.
Oh, this nigga eating beans.
Get him.
It's a apocalypse. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your protein.
But yeah,
Dead 29.
that is the next big AAA game that I'm looking forward to. But tomorrow, as of this recording, by the time it comes out, y'all will already know, which is why you should start watching live. Twitch.tv/Anton6. But Borderlands 3 is apparently going to be announced tomorrow.
Trifecta.
Oh, snap.
My body is ready.
I've never played a Borderlands, and I'm kind of hyped.
I'm going to be real. Here's what Borderlands is. Borderlands is your single-player Destiny. Everything you wish Destiny's campaigns were is Borderlands.
You could easily have
stories.
fun split screening it too.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things.
But then that's
That
the
was a
best
good
part.
time.
That's the best part. It still comes with co-op.
Yeah, couch co-op. Boom. Sync.
I'm ready.
It was beautiful.
Co-op.
Are
on
they
that
going to
couch.
bring back couch co-op in today's age of, hey, we got to play this online on your own PS4?
I hope so.
Well, the Handsome Jack the Borderlands
friend.
collection on PS4 is one of the few modern games that has 4-player split screen couch co-op. So Borderlands 3 may have that as well.
Love the art style. It's a good time. Like
Did you-
Borderlands is one of those franchises where it's like you could play any single one of them and you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah. And then the thing also with Borderlands, that art style, the cell shaded, was literally like a month before the game came out. They made that decision. It was literally like, okay, we're having a lot of like graphical issues. What happens if we cell shade the whole game? Because it was literally a toggle, and there are stories out there about this. But like a month before Borderlands 1 came out, they hit
I'm
that
glad
cell
they did
shaded. Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It
Glad
holds
they
up.
did it.
I mean, heck,
Having an art style.
yeah. I mean, I personally love cell shaded games. Talking to you, Wind Waker.
I was about to say Wind Waker.
Fighters.
I also was about to say Wind Waker.
Wind Waker's great. Probably the greatest Zelda outside of Breath of the Wild.
That's debatable.
Shake the
That's
table.
that's a
I'm gonna
bold
shake it.
statement. That's
Until what is
What
this?
are the other ones? Ocarina of Time.
Yes,
Twilight
obviously
Princess?
the
Twilight
Twilight.
Princess is definitely up there.
Twilight Princess.
Skyward Sword. then
I
there's
think it's better than
Majora's
Wind
Mask.
Waker.
Majora's Mask's personal favorite.
Twilight Princess was a solid.
Link to the
Zelda.
Past.
Breath of the
You gotta put
Wild,
Link-
though. Breath of the Wild, like
Have y'all played Breath of the Wild?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you lost a bunch of save.
yeah,
data.
but
It makes sense. I understand.
I lost a bunch of save data and went back. Like I switched from Wii U to Switch.
yeah, but I didn't
You
feel
didn't
like doing
lose
that
it.
again.
Lose it. He
You
lost
chose
it. Lost it.
You can do
Yeah,
it in
yeah.
a different way. And
Yeah,
it
but I
feels
feel like
completely-
I
No,
don't
no,
want to
no,
go
like
back.
everything
It doesn't
go.
hit like
Everything goes.
Twilight Princess or Ocarina of Time.
I don't know.
I mean,
That
it's
shit
hitting,
does hit.
but was it hitting well?
No, it wasn't hitting well.
Oh, no salt, no seasoning.
Small cheeks.
All right. So
So
then,
but before we go off this topic, Link to the Past. Got to just put that in there
true.
because
I think I have that on my 3DS.
the
which
thing
I
about it
have
is
on
when a lot of people talk about those other games, they keep sticking to the 3D ones.
That's true.
But you
You
gotta
can't
talk
forget
about
about
Link
those
to the
idea
Past.
ones.
A Link Between Worlds as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also
Oracle of Ages, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oracle of Seasons.
Well,
if
those
you're
are
more into
Capcom
combat.
games.
The Capcom Zelda games, those were a good time.
What?
Yeah, Capcom made 2 Zelda games
For
for
the
the
Game
Game
Boy
Boy Color.
Oh,
Ocarina of- Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. They were supposed to make a third one, but they never did.
It could still happen. I mean, Nintendo's been real liberal.
Were they like one
They-
and two, or were they like parallels?
They were parallels.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I
Pokemon
thought.
Red and Blue.
See the way,
I remember that.
but the
I
way they
remember
worked
that.
was the blue one, Oracle of Ages, was more puzzle focused. So if you were into those dungeon puzzles that made Zelda great, play Oracle of Ages. But if you were into combat, play Oracle of Seasons.
Random thought. I wonder how hard it is to get the hardware for a Game Boy game. If like an indie developer found out a way to actually get the hardware to make a cartridge, so that if you have an older system, you can play this newer game.
People do
Actually,
that.
the modding community does that.
Yeah,
Really?
people do
Yes.
that all the
That's-
time.
People do
No,
everything all the time.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as far as
I'm
producing...
actually- Oh, damn. I gotta get on this.
Yeah.
Oh no!
You go,
Check out
like-
the Game Boy subreddit.
Game
They're-
Boy subreddit.
This is why I love Reddit for the hobbies, because
Yeah.
the modding that they've been doing to those Game Boys.
If you didn't know, the Game Boy subreddit, you can get your new games in a new cartridge on an old system.
Actually, there's like a retro store in Gwinnett. I've gone there a couple of times and they've had like cartridges already done with
Yeah.
modded games inside them.
Really?
You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get those off eBay, like super easy.
They're super dope.
Awesome. New information.
This is why we brought you on, Josh, because
Yeah.
we're all jaded and we would have we just know. But
just know.
you're here as the
like
voice
I
of the
came up to
people.
this.
Like I wonder, like none of us are wondering if any of these things are possible. It's just kind of a back of the brain thing. But you have the wonder.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mind have a child when it comes to gaming.
All right, so
That's what we
Jalen, you
need.
added this next one, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
All right, that got announced for first quarter 2020, and I'm hyped beyond belief.
What is it?
It looks
Okay,
pretty
so
sick.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is a cult classic RPG, and it's one of the best RPGs. Like when I think of a Western RPG, I think of
Western.
Knights of the Old Republic, and I think of Bloodlines.
Ooh.
And I'm saying, so you're
That's
playing a
good
vampire.
company.
You're gonna do vampire things, but there's different clans of vampires.
Can I finesse?
You have finesse. You have sauce. You can be sexy or you can be ugly.
Damn.
There's the
Your choice.
Nosferatu
Who-
clan. They are so ugly.
choose
You
your
cannot
reality.
walk. Yeah, like Nosferatu, as in like that old ass movie.
Oh, it looked like a flaccid penis.
Mm-hmm. So ugly you can't walk the streets.
Well put.
Damn.
You have to everywhere you go, you got to go through the sewers.
Why would you choose that?
Different role playing,
Yeah.
because that's what that game was. It was role playing, and it's good, like real good. I mean, like you can get out of a full vampire war by setting the two sides against each other. Like
Let me just get one.
that is like role playing on role playing.
I understood that.
Because what made like the whole genre good is because it's based off of the tabletop game of the same name.
Oh,
Vampire the Masquerade is a tabletop
that's what
game.
sucked you in.
Actually, no, I was playing this before I got into tabletop games.
So this got you into tabletop games.
It sure did help.
Something was sucking something, okay?
Hey, it's vampire. It's vampires. A lot of stuff goes on.
There's a lot of sucking with vampires.
But yeah, it's good. I'm happy. I didn't actually ever think it was gonna get a sequel because it's a cult classic. Like it never sold well.
Because of the vampire codes.
Oh shit! He cracked the code.
God damn it, brother. All right, now we are balls.
Are we going back into the code? Is that gonna be a weekly thing? We just get sucked into a pyramid, like randomly, like, oh shit, we woke.
This intermission brought to you by the Hotep Controller Podcast.
I'm just
Coffee
saying,
controller, because you stay woke.
I'm just saying, when the coffee brews itself, you gotta drink it, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta pour over just for it to drip.
No cream.
All right, so we moving over into the JRPG section.
Stay educated.
Did somebody say JRPG?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you are probably the one who can talk the most about these next two stories. Final Fantasy 15 episode Arden was finally released, and Luminous.
I hope you like suffering, because I realize at this point, Final Fantasy 15 is the JRPG version of suffering porn. That's what it is.
Suffering what?
Suffering porn.
It's over though.
Episode
If you ever want to watch people suffer, play
this
Final
is
Fantasy
the-
15.
This is the end of it, though.
It's
Yeah,
masochism.
This is the end of it. No more suffering will come of Final Fantasy
I mean,
15.
granted, they announced other shit, but, all those got canceled.
Yeah.
So here
Yeah,
we
to
are.
increase the suffering. They knew people wanted it, but they wanted them to suffer.
This is true. We all wanted
Stay
that
woke, brother.
we all
How you
wanted
gonna
that
how you gonna
Arden.
suffer? How you gonna suffer delaying the suffering?
Are we okay?
Exact, because
As
we
a
wanted it, because they
community?
wanted it.
No.
That's how you make a masochist suffer.
enough.
You
Oh,
delay
man.
it.
Delay that
JRPG fans are
satisfaction.
not okay. I promise you.
That's fair.
My Chemical Romance, we are not okay.
Blonde is hitting top billboards again.
But,
okay.
Episode Arden looks interesting. I'm gonna check it out. I don't know if I'm gonna. I'll probably just wait for a sale and get it.
It's part of your season pass.
I only got like the first season pass.
You didn't get the Royal Edition?
Oh,
Oh,
I,
well,
I barely played the DLC.
okay,
I
so...
think I had Comrades. I never touched it.
Oh, yeah, Comrades, like...
I don't even have 15 like on my current PlayStation.
It's 100 fucking gigs.
That's a big bitch.
That
I
is a
don't-
big bitch.
It
of
take up
a
too much
fucking
space.
game.
That take up too much space.
I'm going through my shit, like, what should I delete? And, like, if episode Arden wasn't coming out... Because I said I'd play Final Fantasy 15 when it was done. It's done. It is now on my immediate list.
It is
of-
worth a play from like start to finish. You can really streamline that game if you want to. I actually wished I would have spent more time doing the bro stuff.
Bro.
Bro. Like all the hunting and
Gathering and...
gathering and shit. Because there hits a
Cooking.
point where the game just becomes super linear. Like you're walking through a corridor for like 6 hours.
With no weapons and
Jesus.
suffering.
So you might have a weapon or two. Maybe.
Mostly suffering.
Yeah, mostly suffering.
Mostly suffering.
With an unnecessary time skip. I can talk about Final Fantasy 15 for too long. But
But we're gonna use that energy. So Final Fantasy 15 episode Arden's out. Luminous Productions was the studio that was founded to basically finish Final Fantasy 15, and now they're working on their next game. And I'm honestly excited. I feel like Final Fantasy 15 had gone through too much of a development hell
it
to
had
be.
its highlights.
Yeah, it didn't come out as good as it
could've been.
initially
I
was.
mean, it didn't
pitched.
come out what it originally was.
Right.
Exactly. It's
It's a
it's
whole
been
nother
several
game.
Things.
Yeah, and so now Luminous Productions, like nobody can put down the fact that Final Fantasy 15 high production values, high like impressive set pieces.
Yeah. Like if you never played a Final Fantasy game, play Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, it's
It's geared towards.
it's a good game. It's not a great game.
Yeah.
It's not it's a good game.
It's a good game.
So they and Luminous Productions is working on something else, which I'm highly excited to see, where they're not tied down by, oh, we announced this game 80 million years ago. You guys have to deal with it. They're working on something new, and I'm excited to see
We
what
don't know
it
what
is.
it's going to be. It could be a Final Fantasy. It could be a numbered Final Fantasy. It could just be something
Heck, I want it
else.
to be something else.
It
I
could
want it to be
just.
something
I don't
entirely
mind
new.
something.
We got Octopath, like
Blow
we
my
could-
mind.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Octopath is great. Makes me sleepy, but it's great.
Mm.
So speaking of things that make me sleepy, Persona 5 The Royal.
Don't you dare.
The music is fucking soothing, okay?
Don't you let that put you to sleep. You drink you an adult beverage. And stay
But
awake.
it's so
Breathe some
beautiful.
coffee.
How do you not sleep?
All that style oozing in your corneas, you're not like just.
Although, yeah, there is that one like stagnant song when you're like in the restaurant or you're just like in that. Yeah, you're just like.
It's beneath the mask. But so Persona 5R, we knew this was coming.
We used to call it Ruby.
We used to call it the Rihanna edition. But
Yeah.
They stepped
Well, actually, I don't know. It's still fitting.
They stepped on my dreams.
I don't know. It's still fitting.
I kind of like the new logo. I kind of like really fuck with like what they did with the P5R. So the R stands for the Royal.
The Royal.
Because in Japan,
gotta give it the full title.
In Japan, Persona 4 Golden is Persona 4 the Golden. So we're probably going to get it as Persona 5 Royal.
Damn, that's a big gaudy ass R.
Yeah. it's so over the top, and it just works so well for what it is. So we thought we would get a blowout on what this game actually is.
Nope. Atlas is putting this through it again. Atlas, you keep doing it.
Dog, they pissed me off with that shit. I was like, all right, yeah, we got Persona 5R news coming tomorrow. I'm like, yay. And I wake up, it's like, yo,
10-second trailer.
Here's a 10-second Here's a 10-second trailer.
I'm gonna be
we got more news coming on the 24th of April. I'm like, what?
The day before my birthday. So I'm kind of...
That's nice.
Feels good.
It's going to be another trailer.
Yeah, it's really...
Another 10-second trailer.
I'm not going to be pre-ordering the game on my birthday, but, you know.
I mean, if they make that a capability, I'm going to find that shit instantly.
Yeah, I mean
it's already amazing.
I just don't expect it. I just highly don't expect it.
We'll get it next year, honestly.
Yeah, and so we might actually have to wait because Atlas doesn't have a localization team that is on point as like Nintendo's. They don't do global releases for their games. That means Persona 5 The Royal would have to come out in Japan and be out in Japan for a few months. The same way we had to wait like almost a year for Persona 5 after it came out in Japan.
And Persona.
And the Persona dancing
games. Well, no, we didn't wait that long for the Persona dancing games. Maybe a few months. But...
So they did. Well, I guess they had less to translate.
Right. It's not a...
yeah.
And then Catherine is taking a long time. Catherine is the one that is like going to be like 9-10 months by the time it comes out here.
Holy shit, Sony! If you're gonna make Persona fucking exclusive, get them a good localization team so I can get that shit instantly.
Look, you already descended from the heavens to help Yoko Taro. You should do it again.
Mm-hmm. Right. Fuck with us. I don't know. Either way, I'm excited. They introduced a new character. She's a first year. You can tell by her pin. So it's leaving you wondering, like, is it going to be is she just a new character? Is she going to be
she does say she doesn't believe in your methods.
Okay, so
yeah.
I want to say that was a dialogue option. And like,
yeah, you could say that as Joker.
You could say that as Joker and when Akechi's asking you shit.
Yeah. When anybody who's interrogating, anybody who's asking Joker anything, there are dialogue choices where you can be like, I don't believe in the Phantom Thieves.
No, the Phantom Thieves.
There's no way the Phantom Thieves are good guys. Like those were dialogue options. But just the fact that she's the first year, they'd have to restructure that game so much because it'd have to be an entirely different supporting cast, or they'd have to do it. It'd have to be a prequel, which would be a whole nother thing because you could have been with like Ryuji. But then again, the Phantom Thieves are...
Yeah, I was about to say, the Phantom Thieves are already out. It could be centered after the shit that happened in... I don't know. We got a lot of questions.
Remember, in the Golden, the whole thing with Marie happens after the original plot of 4.
Yeah, so
it could just be that.
So it could just be that. That's what a lot of people are thinking. Myself included.
So, like...
I'm getting it playing it regardless.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe I can actually beat the game before that happens.
That's the thing. If it is just an expansion,
you need like another 100 hours.
Yeah.
Why I don't have 100 hours. I got like another 40 at most.
There you go. Even better.
I got like 100 to go.
Yeah.
And I just added Final Fantasy 15 to my plate.
That's why. That's why I didn't even bring that into the equation.
You beat it beforehand though.
15.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 14.
Oh
no, we're getting to that.
Once again, that's off the plate.
Thank God.
All right.
I can't wait to play 14.
So we'll get to Final Fantasy 14 now.
All right, Tokyo Fan Fest. More news. So,
If you know.
yes, the bunnies are gender locked.
Yeah. But
There's
I'm
going to
okay
be
with
the Hrothgar. I hope I'm pronouncing it that. It's HROG. So I'm not doing that. But basically, it's bunch of male lions. That's
Bunch of male lions?
Bunch of male lions.
All right, I can do that.
AKA my new character.
Yeah.
But the thing that I care about is the new
Transracial.
class, which is the new job is going to be the dancer. So the dancer's coming back.
Oh, it's like a ranged DPS.
Range support DPS, like the bard.
Yeah.
So can
It's
get
gonna be-
buffs to the party while
gonna be
also
dope.
dancing and throwing.
While also
You go
hitting
full
them
Xena on them, really. You're just throwing things at people.
Nice.
It's kind of tight.
Bullseye from Daredevil, just picking up staplers.
Nah, I think they're called chakrams. They're like circle
Oh, the
things.
circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we've also got to see the Warrior of Darkness. It's the same designer as Kingdom Hearts.
Nice.
She looks tight.
That's dope.
Oh, Tetsuya Nomura?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll know.
Thanks for the assist. But yeah, this expansion's
Big
looking
shit.
tight.
Yeah.
Story's going forward in a nice way.
Cool.
2 new jobs, which is great. Twice as many as the last expansion. Getting them day one. I'm about it.
All right.
Now I just gotta make sure I catch up and finish all that jazz.
I believe in you.
So speaking of catching up and finishing all that jazz, Enter the Gungeon is getting its final piece of DLC first week of April.
I'm surprised they're still working on that game.
I mean,
they
they've-
were still working on that.
They've consistently been putting stuff out.
I
There
know they
have
have. No, I know they have. They had the Gungeons and Dragons thing. Yeah, I know.
Gungeons and
Is this Final Fantasy
Dragons.
15?
No, my bad. Yeah, Gungeons and Dragons.
Oh my god.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I need to play this game just off the strength of the name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a game where bullets shoot guns.
It appeals to my American sensibilities.
I'm proud to be an American.
I'm pretty sure there's a
Worldly
character in there
song
that is
going
just
free.
America,
Shoot,
man.
motherfucker.
Look, the whole plot of the game
States' rights.
is that you're looking for a gun that can kill time itself.
God damn it.
It's called Twitter.
Don't let her right get it first.
You got to kill the past, not the future, Madrid.
Fuck.
You gotta hack the planet.
Ew. Ugh.
They got oil.
Was that an Overwatch reference?
That wasn't well. The final expansion for Enter the Gungeons. I'm excited to see what this team does next. I was a fan of Enter the Gungeon from the first time I played it on PlayStation. I have since gone and bought it on Switch. All the expansions are free. So if
So
anybody,
it's still doing numbers.
yeah, I mean it's a lot of these indie games. What they've been doing
It's
is
not a dead game.
No,
Okay.
it's not a dead game.
And it's a good
I'm
time.
gonna just give it to you here, Madrid. Overwatch
wait.
toxicity is down 40%.
Like their player base.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Shots fired.
Man, there's so many other games to play, dog. I deleted that shit and haven't looked back.
That's fair. Wait, where is it gone?
What do
It
you
had
mean?
to spread somewhere.
The toxicity?
Yeah.
Apex.
Oh.
But
I
people
can
are,
tell you
people are
right
like
where
the
that
super
shit-
passive aggressive with the ping system.
I don't know. Have you heard those
It's
microphones?
beautiful.
Is it okay?
No, I'm in a party. Why would
Yeah.
I don't
fuck
I don't
with that
talk
shit.
to normies. No.
Just ping.
Just
And maybe I'll
Ding.
pay attention.
Exactly. So
I mean, it's
shouts
not
out
like I
to-
was paying attention in the first place.
True.
Shouts out to the Overwatch player base for loving itself and moving on. And,
You know.
hope like maybe that game might get a breath of fresh air. Maybe.
Nope. They put out a new black hero and nobody cared.
Yeah, but that's because, the whole problem with the balancing was healing. And what do? Drop another healer.
Drop a healer that has an ability
When was the last... Wait, never mind.
that
Hannah.
makes you
I was
unkillable.
about to say, when was the last time we got it? It should have been a tank's turn.
Yeah.
We
See, that was the other problem with the meta is tanks.
Yeah.
I
They
thought
were
the
more-
problem was healing.
No, they're more
No.
concerned with the tanks than
Yeah.
the healers.
Goats
It
is
was
tanks
really
and healers.
It was really Brig and tanks.
Okay.
And even though they nerfed Brig, she's still good. They
Yeah, I
just made
got
a
fucked
character
up,
that was too good.
We did the Sugar Cube gaming event last night, and shout out to Kay, our
Shouts out to K.
former guest of the podcast. Got to have her on again. She held the event, and one of the things that they had at Axis Replay was just a bunch of PCs. And so,
Nice.
like, our entry fee got you a login. So I logged in, and I played a little bit of Overwatch because I was like, what? Like, pretty much everything that was on there, I already had in one
Look,
form
when you're
or another.
playing on PC, you got to move your arm, not your wrist.
Yeah, I was...
Cool.
that's one thing that I learned before I even started playing on PC was to...
It's in the arm, not the wrist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got to keep your arm
So,
steady for that.
I was
aim.
playing it, and the brig was just in there fucking me up.
Yeah.
But it convinced me that I don't want to buy Overwatch on PC when I get paid Friday.
Exactly. Cause say it with me. It's a dead game.
It's a dead game.
Yeah, Overwatch is dead as fuck, dude.
Dead as fuck, dude.
I haven't opened Overwatch on my PS4. I have money in Overwatch. Like, I just got, like, at least, like...
We don't need to talk about how much money you got in Overwatch.
Well, no, I'm talking about credit, like, Overwatch League tokens that I purchased with real money recently that is just
Got to get them Atlanta
there.
Reign skins.
Yeah, I did
Support
have-
the crew.
I did have
Can
to
we
get
get
the
an F in
Atlanta Reign
chat
skins.
For
Anton's Overwatch money.
skin.
Actually, speaking of dead games, like me and Sekiro's out.
Ooh.
So, who has Sekiro at the table and who doesn't? Madrid got it.
I don't have it yet.
You don't have it yet. I have it.
Okay.
Chris.
I haven't bought anything in a month.
You're playing Resident Evil.
I'm sure
Grinding.
In the chamber.
We're coming for that ass tomorrow.
we are, but also I'm ready to play other games.
It'd be
Yeah.
like that.
Tomorrow, what game are you going to buy the minute you win?
The minute I win,
What's going to be your celebration present to yourself?
I'm probably I really want to play Devil May Cry 5.
Hey,
really
good
do.
choice.
Good choice.
That is
really
a good
should play
choice.
Devil May Cry
Strong,
5.
good.
Look, I'm just saying that
Listen.
game is sauce.
Top 3 animes this year
Oh, okay.
so far, because there's some more heat.
Sekiro is up there too.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't-
You wanna
voice
talk
acting
about,
in
like-
Sekiro?
You want to talk about high quality weeb shit. Sekiro is you're playing as a shinobi, and the game is like, oh, by default it's in Japanese. You could change it if you want.
If you're an op,
But it was really, I have a love-hate relationship with the Souls games.
Because it steps on you.
Well, that's not even the
Hard.
thing. I will understand what I need to
it
do.
doesn't step on you; it slashes your tires.
That's true.
Have you gotten past the snake?
I just beat the power bombing ogre, like Oni. That's
So you
that's
guys
the
have
reason I got here an hour later.
Wait, the the ogre?
Yeah, the ogre,
The chained one.
the chained ogre.
Okay, there are more ogres.
Oh yeah.
But-
I'm sure that was like some tutorial shit.
Okay.
I just stood on the ledge and just like, yo, you can't reach me. I'm just gonna slash you.
Well, right past that, you get to a really crazy thing that took me a play session,
The
and
snake?
then
Or that general.
I'm at the general. now.
Y'all making me want to play this fucking game.
It's hard.
Look,
It's
I'm
hard.
just saying right
Yo,
now, this
well,
game bites back.
Okay,
I
since you
watched-
haven't played the Soulsborne series, you might be a little better. off.
Right. I don't have the muscle memory, so I can play it with default controls. Like, I have not. I feel like I'm at a good spot that I will play a section of that game, get stuck somewhere, put it down, pick it back up, be able to get through that section,
Yeah.
get to the next section, put it down, and that's just what I've been doing with that game. And so, the Chained Ogre also. Just have Zach join a party with you, because he was just like, "Oh, if you pick that up and then go here, you get to do this." And I was like, "Oh,
I watched everybody stream.
Yeah.
I watched this shit.
I watched
stream.
Zach die for at least 2 hours against one boss.
Yeah, I'm sure
Was
if
it
anybody
the
was,
butterfly or was it the general?
It was
No,
the
the-
Guardian Ape.
Oh God, not
Oh
that.
yeah, I watched.
Not that.
That shit was.
That's terrifying.
The Guardian Ape would, like literally started throwing shit. Like he
Yeah.
was going
Yeah,
ape
he,
shit,
like,
ape shit.
farted on you, and then
Yeah.
you killed him, and then
He pulls
And then
out a
phase
sword.
2
Yeah.
happens.
And I
And,
was
no,
like-
wait, phase 3 happens, and it's just like,
and then
Josh.
he started fighting some dude that was like flame. One arm was like all flames. I was like, damn. This
should I
game
make
is,
it download Sekiro?
It's good. It looks good. I wouldn't.
look, FromSoft is still in their bag.
Dog, you feel like a boss till that chain ogre power bombs you and drop kicks you.
I didn't feel like a boss till then, and then after that, like,
Oh no! Up until then, I was the shit. I was running around like, yo, caught you slipping, nigga.
Oh yeah, he was sneaking around like
Stealthy boy's
insta
gonna
killing
be stealthy.
Yeah, like honestly, if you insta kill people,
It's true.
yeah.
I mean, they did say you kind of got to be sneaky in this game.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. There's so many different ways to play.
I mean, I feel
really
like
just
this game was
depends on how you
designed
feel.
more as a stealth game than like any of the other. Well,
Yeah,
the
they're
Soulsborne
stealth.
games.
And they're like, you have high mobility with the arm.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can grab on the ledges and
Right.
shit.
Jumping
That's
and
my favorite part. Like, that's instantly what puts this over Bloodborne, in my opinion. And I haven't played any of the Dark Souls, because I love myself.
It's like Bloodborne, but slow.
What, Sekiro?
No,
Sekiro's
Dark
faster than
Dark
Dark
Souls.
Souls.
Oh, I was about to say,
It's slower than Bloodborne.
yeah.
It's slower than
Bloodborne was like, oh my
Bloodborne
god, I
is,
didn't
like,
think these games would get
aggressive.
this fast.
Speed.
That's why I said in Zach's Twitch stream, I was like, it sounds like you said Bloodborne was too easy, and they said, fuck you, and made this game.
Oh no, they designed Sekiro to be like, oh, you got good at the Souls games. Oh, you got good at Bloodborne. They're easy for you now. Okay.
Cool.
Lay back.
This is going to take a while.
A
But-
long while.
Like Sekiro. That shit. I
Yeah,
don't know
hopefully,
anybody
like,
that's beat it yet.
multi-phase
Yeah.
boss fights.
Actually,
those boss transitions are tight.
There is a speed run in an hour and 45 minutes. Already.
Of course there is.
How? How?
I don't
Because
know.
You
people
must have.
know,
They
like,
must have
these
just like
games.
walked all the way around everything.
Speed runners are a fucking different beast.
Okay,
And I
Well,
don't
it's one of
get
those
what
things
they
with
do.
speedrunning. They only learn two things: pathing and boss fights. Everything else don't matter.
True.
Especially in FromSoft games, because FromSoft games are designed that you could, as long as you know the boss's patterns and you know the mechanics, you don't need nothing.
Yeah.
And so speedrunners are like, okay, if the game's designed that I don't need nothing if I know the boss mechanics, I'm just gonna learn the boss mechanics.
Yeah.
Sneak around everyone and just go.
And I mean, you have an. I'm just scrolling down Kotaku and I see Sekiro Shadows Die Twice as told by Steam reviews.
First
and
thing.
Harder, daddy. But I feel like it's a game that when I wanted something, it feels like one of those games that's unabashedly like current gen. Like it uses a lot of the hardware.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful game.
Oh,
it
it
runs
looks so
well.
good.
Oh my god. On my 4K monitor, that was like the thing. Like I opened it and was just like screwing with Zach, but I'm like, yo, this looks really fucking good.
Right. That's really what got me. It was the aesthetic. I'm like, bro, fuck it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get it
Madrid just got it because purely off the aesthetic,
purely off this.
and it does not disappoint. The farther I get, the more.
I'm pleased so far. I was thinking about playing it all day, and then I finally got a chance to. It was worth it.
I think I may play a little bit, try and beat that general tonight, because that dude is
Same.
no joke.
I bet his minions killed me, and I was like, I need to go anyway.
Oh, I had to skip one mini boss before him, because after the chained ogre, there's another mini boss right behind that door.
The chickens.
No.
Watch out for those chickens. They will cluck you up, bro. I'm not playing.
Oh god, is this Zelda?
Bro, they are
cuckoos are
not. They
back?
are not finger licking
No,
dogs.
the difference between Kuko or whatever from Zelda and this,
You say Ku Klux?
I would think we were going a little bit in a different direction. But the chickens from Zelda fuck you up in a swarm. They're not 7 feet tall.
Yeah. You ever see? Did you ever
Wait,
see
are
that
these
video
chickens
on
or
Twitter?
velociraptors?
Wait, yeah.
Did you ever see that video on Twitter of that really big chicken?
The
That
chocobo.
look like
These
a-
are
The chocobo.
these are
Yes.
black chocobos.
Why do you gotta be black?
Cause they're black.
So,
You're right.
I mean,
Final Fantasy
what, didn't you have to
VII
beat all the
chocobo?
chocobo races to get the black chocobo in 7?
Yeah. In 7.
So black chocobos are canonical.
In 15, you can legit just pick the color of your chocobos.
Yeah.
Oh, damn,
I have a
does it make
purple
you work
chocobo
for it?
because you know I lived that life.
I mean, I think after because you just rent chocobos and then
Well, you can rent them, but then you
You
get
can
your
color
own after a certain point in the story.
yeah.
Okay.
And then you could put little different bardings and stuff on there. Like mine looks like the Warrior of Light from Final Fantasy 1.
So what happens to the car?
It's still there.
That's another mount.
Yeah.
Oh.
You get multiple mounts. I have a unicorn.
Huh.
I have the behemoth that was fucking us over in Monster Hunter.
Oh.
Right.
That's
Wait,
enough.
14 or 15?
I was talking about 15.
I was talking.
Oh
about
no, the
15.
car's in 14.
The car's in 14? too?
Yeah.
How many? Does
It-
it fit
that's
four?
It fits 4 people.
Yeah, that's the first
That's
full
Like you
player
could
mount.
literally be riding around with 3 bunny girls in the back seat.
Hey.
Well, it'd be 2 in the backseat, 1 in the passenger.
We got to make that happen.
Two red bones kicking in the backseat.
Okay, so now that we're done with, I guess we're done with the Sekiro talk. Play Sekiro.
If you ain't scared.
Hate yourself.
On to some sad news, and then I have one more story, and then one more thing. But the bad news is EA laid off 350 people after Apex raised 50 million people. So we had another large
Wait, it
round.
raised 50 million people?
Raised $50 million.
Damn, that's a hell of a parent.
Damn.
So they pulled an Activision.
Well, yeah, it seems. So the thing is, a lot of these people, knew it was coming because Jason Schreier from Kotaku talked to people who were working at EA, and it was something that, it wasn't like Activision where they're like, oh, it might happen. They're like, no, people are about to lose their jobs. Like, start getting ready. There were severance packages. There were, like, these people didn't get screwed over.
Okay.
But
better?
it's layoffs. Like, layoffs are never good. Hashtag game jobs. Like, if you're, like, our thoughts go out to the people affected. If you are one of the people affected by this, hashtag game jobs on Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm up in the air about it.
Yeah, I'm pro.
I understand why it would be necessary and why it's a good thing for developers, but I also understand that there could just be better business practices in the games industry.
It's the publisher.
Well, what do you expect to happen first? Because I definitely don't believe in the.
Well, I mean, people are getting better. Ubisoft got better. Activision is getting better.
We say that now.
After what they just did?
Activision did drop Sekiro.
Activision.
Yeah,
it's
it's
the weirdest shit to see.
Speaking of that, I love the fact that Sekiro is just a game that came out. That's it.
No DLC, no season
microtransactions.
Pass, no...
It's just a fully realized product, unlike the Epic Game Store.
How often does that happen?
Yeah.
Shots.
Devil May Cry came out with just the promise of free DLC coming.
But there's microtransactions.
There are microtransactions.
There are.
I mean,
buying those red orbs does, after a point, it's like, damn.
Yeah, you're going to get to the end of that game. Everybody got to like the last few chapters and was like, really like.
Go back and play mission. That first mission where.
So wait, does it buying red orbs help you?
Yeah, like
red orbs are your currency. That's how you buy upgrades and shit.
So
you can either buy upgrades, but also when you
breakers.
die, they give you gold orbs. Like gold orbs revive you fully with all your health, all your devil trigger, everything. After you run out of gold orbs, because that game's going to kill the fuck out of you several times.
May cry.
When you run out of gold orbs, they give you the option to res yourself with different tiers of red orbs. And so you start spending your red orbs that you've earned over the course of playing.
And it gets more expensive each time.
Right, yeah. And then there's also the additional factor of every time you die and spend red orbs to revive yourself, reviving yourself with red orbs gets more expensive.
I mean, that's just a classic Devil May Cry thing. In Devil May Cry 4... the amount of the amount of gold orbs you can buy from the shop was finite. You could only buy X amount.
Damn.
And once that was over, that was just over.
Shit. Well, now they give you gold orbs just for logging in.
Yeah, it's a login bonus. So if you
That's
really
cool.
get stuck,
I need to start
just
doing
stop
that
playing
every
till
day.
tomorrow.
Just to have some stocked up. I'm
learn
playing
how to parry and style on everything.
Yeah, I'm playing in Son of Sparta. Yo, in-game Nero is the shit.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets...
I mean, I'm ready.
I believe that, but the thing about it is Dante
no.
can do ignorant shit.
No, Dante's still the best, but in-game Nero is no bitch.
Okay.
Because I've seen the most
V is fun
ignorant shit people have done with Dante by switching weapons and stances.
Dear God, that fucking motorcycle is the best shit ever fucking crafted by anything. Ever. Like, dual-wielding chainsaws? That's a motorcycle? You're dual-wielding a motorcycle?
Ridiculous.
That's Devil May Cry.
It's like, bruh, infinite aerials?
Ooh.
That's stupid.
But then, my favorite thing about Nero, you can suplex a demon.
You can suplex a demon.
All right.
That's dope.
So, I thought talking about laying off 350 people would end sadder than it did because I can't trust this podcast not to get real dark anymore.
Dark.
But Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle is adding not only its 5th fate in mid-May, but also an additional character for all the existing fates except for Ruby. So we're getting Teddy in Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just
So-
like
Who are we getting from Embirth?
Seth, the 2 knives,
Yeah.
super edgy.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I know Seth.
Edgelord Seth.
Literally
So,
the edgiest character in the game.
yeah. And we're getting
I
him.
thought he would be a Madrid character, but I can't play that fucker. I just can't. I'm gonna work on it though.
I have a copy of Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle physically, like, over
I
there.
thought you had Embirth over there.
I do have Under Night in Birth. I don't have Blaze Blue. I have Under Night in Birth over there physically. But does anybody have one more thing before we wrap?
Play Skullgirls.
It's $1 right now.
Play Crypt of the Necrodancer.
That too.
Josh,
Especially
okay.
before the Zelda one comes out.
So Josh, you've been playing Crypt of the Necrodancer because
Yeah.
I forcefully downloaded it to your PS4 last time.
Yes.
And what do you think about it? Like,
I fucking love this. I fucking love this game. Like I had a little. I generally just have a low expectation for games. It's like, okay, yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a game that I'm gonna play and then I'm gonna stop playing. But no, Crypt of the Necrodancer is something special. When I got to it, when I actually learned how to play the game, when it actually clicked for me, I was like, this shit is absolutely amazing. Like just the general mechanics of the game itself, of how to play, of how each enemy you gotta do something different. Each enemy is like you have to do something in a specific way. So it's like
Because they're all in a different rhythm.
They're all in a different rhythm. So it's like the general game has a certain rhythm, and then to kill one enemy, you have to have a certain rhythm, and then every enemy has a different rhythm. So it's like if you're surrounded by 4 at the same time, you gotta know what the fuck you're doing if you're gonna survive. And once you figure out how to survive when you're surrounded by multiple enemies, it just feels amazing. Like I'm a musician, so I love like rhythm. Like this rhythm-based game is a true rhythm-based game. Like this is something that I just love it. Everything about it. Like the first level's music is really great. It's really cool. It's what Jillian perfectly described of what the music was going to be, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But then I got to the second level. I'm like, okay, it got a little bit deeper. It's like, okay, this is more than what I was expecting. And then I got to right now I'm at the point where I'm on zone 2. There's multiple zones. I'm on zone 2, and when I get to the second level of zone 2, so each zone has multiple levels. There's the surface level, and then the next level, and then it's like the boss level where you have to get through. The second level, it completely changes to like futuristic trap music out of nowhere. It is not even like it's not even like, oh yeah, it's trap. It's it's technically yes by the rhythms and the patterns. Like no, this shit is fucking good. Like it's fucking good. It's not even like
game soundtracks have been flamed.
What it's just good. It's just good. They just entered good. I had like when it first came, I had a hard time like doing the levels because I'm just like, yo, this shit is fucking.
I want to be dancing.
I've
not
seen
the game.
Josh.
They got fucking bangers. Like
I've seen Josh purposely lose in Tetris because he was milli rocking so hard. So
that's like so great.
So,
but yeah, this game is just like, oh my god, that second level of Zone 2 just got me on a different.
Like I know you've been streaming this. Like, do you stream with your mic on? I need your commentary on this. Shit,
I have to find the mic. Like I don't move it anywhere, but every time I come to my couch, it's in a different location. I guess. So I feel like somebody's
your commentary.
Like somebody's breaking into my house and playing on PlayStation, and they know when I come home, so they know when to leave, and they just. But yeah, the next time I stream some Crypt of the Necrodancer, it's gonna be some shit. Like
I want a hot 16.
It takes a lot for like me to like actually enjoy it. I checked like previously. I checked out The Witness. So I was like, okay, this is a game that I'm playing. It's cool, whatever. Even today, I played Sound Shapes. It was cool. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play this. It's whatever.
I will say, Sound Shapes. You do need the.
Yeah, I played it without the audio though.
Yeah, you need the audio for Sound Shapes.
That's the thing. Sound Shapes is one of those games. They had Deadmau5 make a DLC pack for that game.
Okay.
So
I personally wasn't in the demos, but
it was peak Deadmau5. Like I know saying that in 2019 isn't like, but like Beck made a DLC pack. Like
Beck, all right, you know what I'm saying? Fuck with Beck, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Each thing was like a full album that you're playing through, and as you're playing through it, all those little points you were collecting were adding a layer to the song.
Oh man!
So by the end of each level,
so like, you
need the sound.
So I didn't get the full. I get the full experience. Okay, I might play it again when I get the full experience. But Crypt of the Necrodancer.
And that studio is making a Zelda one.
Yeah, they're making.
I can't wait for the Zelda one because like I already enjoyed.
I
started like after a while. I started playing like the different characters. Like I started off with just the main one, which is great, and then it's like the one I started playing the one where it's just like you just dropping bombs. I played that one. I was like, okay, this is cool. And then I saw like they had a whole bunch of other characters that I can like. I'm like, okay, cool.
And each one changes how you interact with the beat.
And it's all fucking great. Like this game, I love this game. Like I am ridiculously into this game. I love it. So
I mean, this is why we got you a PlayStation, because we felt that for you to be around us and for us to just, there are so many games out there that are just for you.
Yeah, this game is that crypto. This shit is for me, you know what I'm saying? So I can't wait for that Zelda one because it's very Zelda-esque, and I feel like the more that they get, like the boss, like I really enjoy like the boss levels because even I'll get to the point where like, all right, I know how to beat some of the bosses, some of the powers I'm gonna need to get, but then when you have the Zelda bosses and the Zelda, I feel like the Zelda music
soundtrack,
the Zelda soundtrack,
that's what sold me on. I was like, wait a second,
that shit about to be busting.
Water
levels on deck everywhere. So yeah, Crypt of the Necrodancer, like go check that out. Like if you're rhythm bass, if you're into music, if you're into just jamming out while you're playing the game, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get your Visine eyes, you know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to pay attention and all that. But I love this game.
All right, well I'm gonna re-download Crypt of the Necrodancer when I get home, but I think that's all we got time for this week. Remember, you can follow us all collectively on Twitter and Instagram at Cheesy Controller without the last E. On Twitter, I'm at Anton6. Jalen.
At Squid Bishop.
Madrid.
Speedwagon X.
Josh.
I know Jones everywhere.
Chris.
Chefing Chris.
All right, this has been a Knowitsgood production. Until next time, keep it cheesy. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 88 of the Cheesy Controller Podcast. I'm your host, Anton LaPlatte. With me, as always, is Jalen Roberts.
Massive degeneracy.
Madrid Devon.
Tecate.
Josh Jones.
Can I get that on vinyl?
And Chris Montalbano.
CTR.
We got a jam-packed episode for you guys this week. We're going to be talking about Borderlands 3. We're going to be talking about GTA soundtracks. We're going to talk about Ed Boon's Fucked Up Mind. South Park Oculus references, Josh's Inner Atlanta, and we're going to talk about Sekiro making you say harder, Daddy.
Step on me, Lady Butterfly. Step on me harder.
Powerbomb me.
All right.
That's cool.